Let me tell you a story that sounds like it came straight out of a Hollywood cybercrime thriller. But it's real. And it shook the global banking system to its core. In early 2016, something unbelievable happened. Hackers sitting behind computers thousands of miles away plotted to steal $1 billion from the Bangladesh bank. Yes, that's right, $1 billion, not from a vault, but through keyboard strokes. But how did they plan to do it? Well, the story starts with something very simple, a phishing email. Someone at Bangladesh Bank unknowingly clicked on a malicious email attachment. And that one click gave hackers deep access into the bank's internal network. But these hackers weren't your average script kiddies. They were highly skilled, strategic, and incredibly patient. For weeks, they studied the bank's internal systems. They observed how international transactions were processed. And more importantly, how the bank connected to the SWIFT system, which is like the global messaging system used by banks to move money internationally. Once they felt confident, the hackers made their move. On February 4, 2016, while Bangladesh was enjoying a weekend holiday, the hackers quietly started sending dozens of money transfer requests through SWIFT. The destination? The Federal Reserve Bank of New York, where Bangladesh Bank held over $1 billion in reserves. They didn't just send one or two requests. They sent 35 fraudulent transfer requests, totaling almost $1 billion. And here's the shocking part. The requests looked completely legitimate. Same format. Same codes. No red flags, at first, but fate had something unusual planned. Because of a tiny detail, a word, actually, things started to unravel. One of the transfer destinations was a non-profit in the Philippines. But in the payment instruction, the word Jupiter appeared in the address, which just happened to match the name of a sanctioned Iranian shipping company. That triggered a compliance red flag at the Federal Reserve Bank, who paused the transaction and started a manual review. But by then, some of the money was already gone. So, where were we? Right, the Federal Reserve Bank of New York had just noticed something fishy. The word Jupiter raised a compliance red flag, halting the billion-dollar transfer spree. Out of the 35 transfer requests, only 5 went through before the rest were stopped. But that was still a massive hit. In total, the hackers successfully stole $101 million. And here's the chilling part. The money had already started vanishing into a complex maze of bank accounts, casinos, and shell companies. Of the $101 million, $20 million was sent to Sri Lanka. But thanks to a spelling error in the beneficiary's name, that amount was recovered. The rest, $81 million, went to 4 accounts at the Rizal Commercial Banking Corporation, RCBC, in the Philippines. These accounts had been opened using fake names, just days before the heist. The money was quickly withdrawn in cash, laundered through local casinos, and then vanished without a trace. Within days, the hackers had disappeared, leaving behind a digital crime scene that confused investigators worldwide. The shocking aftermath? It took Bangladesh Bank days to even realize the money was missing. And when they finally did, a massive blame game began. Who was responsible? How did the hackers know so much about their systems? And most importantly, was this an inside job? The FBI, Interpol, cybersecurity experts, and international banks all jumped in. The evidence pointed toward Lazarus Group, a notorious state-sponsored hacking group linked to North Korea. And though North Korea denies it to this day, cyber experts believe it was part of a larger plan to fund the country's banned weapons program. The Bangladesh bank heist became a global wake-up call. It showed the world that cybercrime isn't just about stealing data. It can result in real-world loss of millions, even billions of dollars. A single phishing email. A small mistake in security. And suddenly, the world's financial systems are at risk. To this day, around $60 million from that heist has never been recovered. It remains one of the most daring, mysterious, and professionally executed cyber heists in history. A billion-dollar dream. Interrupted by a single word, Jupiter.